Hello, I'm Robbie Fowler and you're watching Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV, where they're dancing on the streets of London, Dublin and Oslo as Man United turn over Liverpool 2-1 at Old Trafford. Before we talk about the game, let's first have some of your Facebook comments. Yassine Jada says, good half-hour game. Rodgers should have been more ambitious from the start. It cost us the game. Sturridge looked good though. You'll never walk alone. Vilson Noah Bakey says, we lost, but we lost on a high. A lot of positives to take from the game. We can only get better. You'll never walk alone. Dylan Fodor says, so pissed off from that game, but it's United, so I think I'm allowed to be. But why have we to have one of, if not the worst team performance of the season versus our big rivals? I wouldn't be so mad if we played good, but it was really poor. To be positive, Sturridge looks awesome. Yes, indeed, he does. Stan Haver, frustrating that we let them get into it after starting well enough. We needed to stay in their faces, but stood off and gave them time and room to play. Positives to take from that game, but we must learn from these mistakes. Well done, Danny. Danny lad. Too, yeah. I'm going to presume that was done on purpose. I prefer it that way. Dal LFC says, shows we lack maturity and experience. Better second half, but we need some more experienced and established players. Never nice to lose. Hurt even more when it's United. Yes, doesn't it just? Let's see, what else have we got? Nolan's scripture says simply, play Sturridge all the time. Anyway, Greg Hudson says, gutted, we only played 45 minutes and when we finally showed up in the second half, the United defence panicked. Shame we couldn't have played a full 90 in full flight, but glad to see how well Sturridge and Suarez are already working together. It's a bright spot on an otherwise shite day. Yes, very well said, Greg, very well said. Brad Collett can't get over how well we played for the last half an hour. Sturridge was a revelation in the squad. Great game, but disappointed we lost. I'm going to wrap up with James Clark. Hey, this is an away game to the best team in the country. 2-1 isn't that bad a result, and we're still in 8th. Good to see Sturridge score, and yes, I can't deny Alan was bloody awful. There's some fucking whoppers out in fourth tonight in the comment section. I do pick out a section at random and mercifully do weren't present in that section, but there's one or two there and you just want to fucking get a grip of yourselves. Really do. Look, no defending it. First half, we were just dreadful. I mean, it was pointed out there that we sort of contained them okay for the first 20 minutes or so. It was fun, but we absolutely offered nothing going the other way. Luis Suarez, that just like in vast oceans of, but I would say space, but space in that space from other Liverpool players, basically on an island surrounded by Man United players. But that, and I don't know what that is. I'm not intelligent enough tactically to be able to fathom whether that's us not being ambitious enough and getting men forward enough, or the fact that they were containing us by pushing us back the other way. I don't know. We're going to have Sean Rodgers on the subscriber show next week. We'll be asking him that question as a coach. He will hopefully be able to fill us in a bit more on that. But if you know a little bit more, let us know in the comment section. But for me, it felt very, first half felt very much like we decided to sort of try and keep it tight, but we were neither here nor there. We didn't sort of play massively defensively, and of course we didn't play all out attack. We sort of dilly-dallied, to borrow an expression off me nan, between one or the other, and we, obviously, and as a result we ended up being neither, you know what I mean? And so we got to half time, and then Sky roll out that stat that Man United have never lost when they've had a lead at half time at Old Trafford under Alex Ferguson. What the fuck? Where's that one come from? Why has no one told us this before? Dear God. So there we go. So the writing was on the wall at half time, wasn't it? But no, there are loads of people saying changes need to be made at half time, and he did, and this is the point. And look, we got it wrong, and I think it again, without knowing the full tactical ins and outs, let's go out on a limb and say Brendan Rodgers got it wrong first half. I don't think Joe Allen should have started. I think Jordan Henderson's offered enough in the last few games to justify his inclusion. The thinking, I believe, is that he believes he wants to go sort of toe-to-toe and play his passing game, as it were, against Man United, and Joe Allen fits into that better than Jordan Henderson. Maybe the thinking is that he's a little bit more defensive. It was more instead of flipping a triangle, it was a big line of players sat back. So I can sort of, that's what I think the mentality of it was, and I can't necessarily argue with that. But once it's after half an hour and you realise it wasn't going our way, you wonder whether you can't. If you're playing like a shit team, you can afford to go, right, fuck it, half an hour gone, let's make a substitution. Against Man United, substitutions are such it's such a game of attrition. Your substitutions have to are very important in that way. Rafa Benitez always used to get them spot on, I genuinely don't know, but anyway, what was lacking first half was clearly a bit of heart, and bravery most of it. What really annoyed me was just people just not having the balls to commit to attack, or just in the pass selection and whatever. Like Joe Allen's passing. I mean, look, there's a few people who seem desperate to sort of pigeonhole him and castigate him and just say like he's not good enough or whatever. Calm the fuck down. People were singing his praises at the first half of the season, saying how really good he was, and then he's faded and he had a bad game in the first half. That being said, if you think he had an entirely shit 90 minutes, you're wrong. Second half, he was much improved, and it looked a lot better in midfield with him. He looked a lot more terrierish, like we've seen him, do his defensive duty. I don't think we needed Lucas in the second half, as we proved. Look, I feel the scattiness of the train of thought going on here. Everyone said that we should have just gone straight at Man United because that's the way to beat them. Although up until this season, logic dictates that you play really defensively and you maybe look to hit them on the counter. Okay, so it takes a lot of balls to say, look, we're going to go to Man United. Particularly Brendan Rodgers, take this how you will. Still a young manager, still learning. It takes a lot of balls to be able to go to Old Trafford, fucking gung-ho from minute one. There are managers who've been doing it at the highest level for 20 years who would not go out there and do that. Rafa Benitez wouldn't have gone and done that. And there's a lot of people who obviously who are desperate to make that. Roy Hodgson most certainly wouldn't have done that. So no, I get it. We saw though that when you do go for it, Man United are shaky at the back and they will make mistakes, and if you put them under pressure, you do start to see the cracks. And that's the only encouraging thing for me, is that because there's going to be loads of people saying, well, why are you looking on the bright side? We got beat by Man United and we were shit for the first half. Look, the fact of the matter is, if it was all shit, there's no optimists, no matter how optimistic you are, who thought that first half was a good performance. So that tells you something. So when there are still people who are optimistic, haven't seen the second half performance, that tells you it's not all bad. When you lose those optimists, that's when we're fucked. Yeah. Think about that one. Now, second half, Daniel Sturridge changed the way Liverpool played. We finally had some pace and a bit of power up front as well. And he was just an option. He was an outlet. He was a threat. What was great about it was Suarez is dropping off to pick the ball. Sturridge is happy to do it. If he drops off, Suarez goes on, and vice versa. It started to look a bit more sort of fluid, more like what we've talked about time and time again on the show. What it looked like against FC Goal, yes. I know, astounding basis for comparison, playing a team of bricklayers from the back end and beyond in Eastern Europe or whatever. That being said, it gave us an indication of it. It was like Barini pulling off to the left, Suarez coming into the middle, Steven Gerrard bombing on. Second half, we finally got to see almost our full strength attacking, options. If you take my meaning there, is that Fabio Barini come on, Daniel Sturridge was on, Suarez was on. And it looked great. I mean, how many times the three of them were just in and around the box, and there was like little touches and flicks, and they just weren't quite coming off, particularly for Barini, who looked massively rusty. But again, look at the positions he picks up. A couple of weeks' time, if he's a little bit fitter, gets the match sharp under his belt, he probably sticks one away there. He has that chance that he volleys. It's a miscontrol. On a better day, he maybe gets a better touch, or he controls it, does deliberately and sticks it in the top bin. It's pure fucking random speculation, I know, but you know what? Why not? But no, I was very encouraged by it. In fact, there was a point where we actually had, I don't know if you remember this, I mean, in a wider scale of things, if you remember us ever doing this, we had men in the box. Dear God, since when? It was absolutely incredible. Men flooding into the box, and it was just a shit. You know, it's one of those that you can look at the negatives. Of course, you can. If you want to look at the negatives, go for it. You're entitled to an opinion. You're entitled to be a miserable twat all your life. What I'm saying is, there's nothing to be gained from being miserable about it. You've got to look at where we did things right, and we did a lot of things wrong in that game, granted, and I'm not going to deny that for a single second. But also, as people have said there, look, Daniel Sturridge, Suarez, finally getting Barini back. That's a forward three to be feared, finally, and we haven't had one all season. We've had a forward one, and yet we've still had 3 players on the pitch to be feared. Great to see. And should Daniel Sturridge have started? In hindsight, yeah, totally, definitely should have started. But again, look at it. The argument was if you start Sturridge and you start Sterling, bearing in mind before we knew Barini was even going to be involved, what did you have off the bench in case you needed to change the game? There's as good a chance you can put your full strength team out. Robin van Persie gets 1 touch and he scores, and you're a goal behind. It's a Man United away from home. What do you do then? You need options off the bench, and we were finally able to have options. It was just a shame that is it Glenn Johnson and maybe Daniel Agger just switch off a little bit. Agger obviously for the first goal, Johnson second, certainly for the second. And I know we've been saying this time and time again all season, but that's football, isn't it? Sometimes it happens. Individual errors cost you games, and never more so than us this season. But this is the thing, you know, other than a little lapse, particularly for the second goal, let's just discount the first goal and say Robin van Persie, 1 touch goal, fair play. Patrice Evra getting around the back stick. If not for that, you know, we're coming away with a point from Old Trafford, which is not a bad result, and a little bit of composure in the box, again with a little bit more match sharpness from Daniel Sturridge. We could be back in that game. We could be getting, it could be 2-2. We could even snatch it, you know, getting towards the end. Before I go, I have to say, Howard Webb, fair play, actually had a pretty decent performance. I thought I probably should have sent Glenn Johnson off, let him off for the failed rugby tackle, because I mean, he goes for it, he misses it. So that's as good as him not trying to foul him at all, isn't it? So now, you know, fair play, Howard Webb. Maybe he's obviously bowed to a little bit of the pressure we've put on him for being a mank bastard all those years. Look, if you're gonna, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Look, if you feel miserable, be miserable, but just shut up about it, like, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, as I said, look, when the optimists give up on it, that's the time to be miserable. That's the time to start worrying about it. All these fucking idiots going on, Rodger's out. Calm yourselves. Calm yourselves the fuck down. Seriously. But look, just get on with your lives. It's going to be a fucking hard week. There's nothing I hate more. In fact, the only thing I hate more than losing to Man United is losing to Everton, and it's fucking horrible. And it's very hard to get over it very quickly, and I'm not over it. I'm still pissed off that we've lost. But what I'm trying to say is that there's nothing to be gained right now from getting too upset about it, because as well pointed out, you're talking about right now champions elect of the Premier League against where we are in our developments. We're 8th in the Premier League. If we were any other team there or thereabouts, if Man United did that to Swansea, I know I can't believe I've just compared us to Swansea City, but just take our history out of the equation and look at it in pure figures of Premier League position. No one would bat an eyelid at that, and that's a shame, but that's the nature of the fucking beast that Liverpool is at the moment. Hopefully we can get another reinforcement, maybe just to bolster the attacking options a little bit more before the January transfer window shuts, maybe offer us, I don't know, a little bit more. But hey, look, so far so good with Daniel Sturridge. 2 goals in his first 2 games. Can't really ask more than that, can you? Anyway, there you go, there's your positives. Shine on, Reds. No, look, keep your chins up. We'll be back with the subscriber show this week. Do tune in for that. It's free for a whole month if you haven't tried it yet. Do check it out. If you haven't voted for us in the Shorty Awards yet, fucking do it now. Please, just go. It takes 2 seconds to vote. You go on the link that I'll put in the video info and vote for us in web show. Give a nice reason, not because Paul's threatened, because that doesn't look very good when they look back over the votes. But if you've liked the show, if you've enjoyed what we do, and especially if you're not paid for it, take 2 seconds out of your day and please go and vote for us. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. As always, keep your chins up. It's not all that bad. We'll be back for the subscriber show and for the match build up next week. Ta-ra.